Storms continue this evening. Some could bring damaging wind gusts or isolated flooding. Then we'll watch for the heat this week. I'll let you know how hot we'll be ahead of the 4th of July.
Plus, heat safety. Triple-digit temperatures are on the way. A local doctor shares what you need to know now to stay safe before the hottest days arrive. And a man accused in a deadly shooting on I-40 is expected to stand trial this week. We're breaking down what we're expecting in courts tomorrow. We're keeping a close eye on the radar this evening. It's, of course, a WRAL weather alert day with a threat of damaging winds, heavy rain, and flooding through the evening. Thank you for joining us here tonight. I'm Eric Miller. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking all of this for us. Grant, what are you seeing out there right now?
Yeah, a lot of lightning with these storms as well. Big lightning producers. You can see those just north of Raleigh and in the northern portions of Wake County up towards Granville County, Durham County, and moving into Franklin County as well and southern Vance County. So I'm going to zoom in on some of these storms across the area. You have some storms working their way south and east towards Knightdale. Again, this looks at the past 15 minutes. So this will be over Knightdale here shortly. Rolesville seeing some showers and storms. So Zebulon, you'll have these showers and storms here in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Youngsville, Wake Forest just saw a storm. Those are working their way closer to Bunn and Spring Hope now. To the north, closer to Franklinton, a lot of showers and a lot of lightning with this storm as it works its way east closer to Lewisburg now. I want to show you our camera from Franklinton. It is really coming down there, and the flags have been kind of waving back and forth with the changing winds as those storms have rolled through. Again, a lot of heavy rainfall over in Franklinton. Another storm moving through Durham right now. A lot of heavy rainfall just south of Hillsboro, moving through Durham here shortly. This is a view from RDU looking north. You can see that wall of rain from the storms working south and east. A few more storms working their way just south of Southern Pines. They're moving east and southeast, also more just south of Rayford, and a few more storms exiting Wilson County right now. We'll talk more about how long these storms last this evening, and then also when we could see some intense heat ahead of the 4th of July. It's coming up.
Grant, thank you. Right now is, of course, a great time to pull out your phone and download the WRAL weather app. You should also turn on those push notifications so you can track when storms are moving into your neighborhood. Temperatures are expected to hit the triple digits this week, and with those increased temps comes an increased risk for heat-related injuries. WRAL's Kirsten Clark spoke with a local doctor who says you should prepare now to avoid disaster later.
From young athletes on the field to older people with underlying conditions, Wake Med emergency physician Dr. Graham Snyder tells me he's expecting to treat dozens of heat-related injuries this summer, spanning from dehydration to heat exhaustion and heat stroke.
What are some of those signs beyond, you said, a confusion for someone that is experiencing some sort of injury or condition related to the heat?
There's a certain internal temperature, and it's different in different people, where the body stops working, where you'll start to get confusion, vomiting, and sometimes muscular injury and death.
Snyder says the risk grows as temperatures spike, especially this week as WRAL meteorologists are forecasting several days above 100 degrees in our area.
Your body forgets how to react to heat. You lose that toughness for managing heat, and so it's the beginning of the summer when we get real problems.
When asked how people can avoid a visit to the emergency room, Snyder offered 4 points of advice. Number 1 is to consider those who are most vulnerable, the very young and the very old.
Think about your family, think about your friends, think about, are they taken care of? Is air conditioning broken?
Next, he says to introduce yourself to the heat slowly and stay hydrated. And finally, never leave a child or pet in the car, even with the AC on. And in the case that you do see someone experiencing a heat-related injury,
get them out of the sun, put them in the shade, give them water. Those are the things that need to be done immediately.
Keeping safety top of mind ahead of the heat wave. In Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Tomorrow, the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a driver on I-40 is set to begin. 35-year-old Josue Alejandro Quintanilla Reyes is the man accused of shooting and killing Ricardo Cardenas in that very high-profile incident. The suspect is also accused of being in the country illegally and faces a federal gun charge. WRAL's Bailey Stamos joins us live outside of the courthouse where this trial is set to begin tomorrow. Bailey.
In a matter of hours, the trial for 35-year-old Josue Quintanilla Reyes, a Honduran national accused of killing 35-year-old Ricardo Baez Cardenas, will be underway here. Today, the Cardenas family telling me this year has been a difficult and long time coming after they say their brother was shot on his way to work driving down I-40 when he was shot in his car by a man he did not know. Since that day in 2025, the Cardenas family has lived many celebrations, including Christmas and his birthday without Ricardo, who they say was a father of 2 and brother to 3.
A couple days after Christmas was his birthday. That was the hardest day. That was the hardest day. Because that was the first birthday without my brother.
As of last week, Homeland Security agents arrested Quintanilla Reyes and charged him with possessing a firearm while being illegally and unlawfully present in the United States. Court documents show a motion was filed by Reyes' attorneys for the state's witnesses to avoid making references to his immigration status during the trial. This trial is set to start here at 10 a.m. Bailey Stamos, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Bailey, thank you. One man is in the hospital, another is in custody after a shooting in Durham. This happened on Brighton Road just before 6 a.m. That's in the Hope Valley neighborhood. Police say the man who was shot is expected to recover. We're still working to learn what exactly led up to that shooting and the names of the men involved. A judge sentenced a local man to federal prison for conspiring to steal money from the food stamp program. Deshaun White will spend 6 months in prison, followed by another 6 under house arrest. While working for a DSS office, he accessed accounts of people on SNAP and converted more than $100,000 for personal use. As part of his sentencing, he'll have to pay all that money back. New here at 6, loved ones have started a GoFundMe for a young man who died in a fiery crash in Raleigh. The goal, raising thousands of dollars for his family, the family of Abraham Potts. Police told us Potts wasn't wearing a seatbelt when he crashed into 2 trees along Arco Corporate Drive. Investigators say he was ejected from the car before it caught fire. A juvenile was also in the front passenger seat. A juvenile was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Happening tonight, a stretch of Glenwood Avenue will be closed for road work. That closure will be between Wade Avenue and Women's Club Drive. Also looking ahead, the 5 Points intersection will also be closed each night. This will be between July 12th and the 14th. Detours will be in place. New tonight, the all clear has been given in Siler City. A gas leak on East 4th Street has officially been secured. All evacuation orders in that area have been lifted. Residents can now safely return to their homes. Tomorrow, construction will begin around a historic site in our area. Crews will be working on pedestrian improvements near the Market House in Fayetteville. When finished, people will notice a large plaza, improved crosswalks, and an ADA accessible ramp. It's all part of a related renovation that's been going on for several months now. UNC and NC State could finally get a cut of the money North Carolina has been raking in from sports gambling taxes. That's if a budget proposal is approved by the state legislature. Our NC Capitol team reviewed that proposal as lawmakers weigh the final touches on a comprehensive spending plan. UNC and NC State are the state's largest and most popular public school athletics departments, but they've been left out of distributions from taxes on sports betting operators. That money has flowed to other state schools.
UNC and NC State have been lobbying about this issue since the dawn of sports gambling in North Carolina in 2024. All other 13 UNC system schools that have athletic departments have been collecting money during this time period. NC State and UNC have said, well, many people are betting on us. We should probably get a cut of that.
Now, under this proposal, both schools could receive up to $5.8 million annually beginning July 1st, 2027. That's the same amount that Appalachian State, Charlotte, and East Carolina are currently getting. For more on the proposal, you can check out our in-depth article at WRAL.com. Of course, the WRAL documentary unit also explored the impact of sports gambling in our recent project. It looks at the explosion in sports gambling, the surge in calls to gambling hotlines, and where the industry goes next. You can watch The Gamble on the WRAL YouTube page or wherever you stream WRAL. Still to come here tonight, just one step. A trip to the trash can turned into a life-changing ordeal for one local woman. Hear the warning she's sharing that could help protect your family. Plus, best run cities. 2 Triangle cities are getting some national recognition. We'll tell you what earned them a spot near the top of the list. Now here's Chris Lovingood with a look at what we're working on for tomorrow morning.
Our weather team will be tracking the next weather maker, and Ken will have your traffic every 10 minutes. Plus, targeting impaired drivers. WRAL investigates the new tools designed to keep you safe on the roads this July 4th holiday. Join us tomorrow beginning at 4:30 a.m.
I'm Elizabeth Holmes in the WRAL Live Center, where we are following the latest on the war with Iran. Today, Iran launched strikes against Kuwait and Bahrain, and they say that this is coming after the United States launched its own strikes against the Islamic Republic. This is a picture from one of those strikes earlier this weekend. Now, Iran is also threatening a complete halt to negotiations to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign minister saying today that Tehran must govern the Strait of Hormuz, and any attempts to change that could cause delays and cause tensions to rise even further. Eric?
Elizabeth, thank you. A local woman is sharing a warning after a routine chore turned into a painful and expensive encounter with a copperhead snake. Renee Chisholm says she was bitten by the copperhead while just taking out the trash. She says the snake was hiding by her trash cans and then attacked her. She was rushed to the hospital and needed 28 vials of antivenom. 11 days later, she's still recovering and is left with an expensive reminder.
I am one that looks around for snakes. I did everything that I thought I should be doing. The snake actually biting was not as painful as what a bee sting would have been. It was afterwards that was so painful.
NC Poison Control says a fifth of all copperhead bites happen right here in North Carolina. The average cost of antivenom in NC is between $11,000 and $15,000 per vial. I'll let you do the math on that. New tonight, women in need across Wake County have another option for access to health care. The Raleigh-based nonprofit No Woman, No Girl is opening what it's calling its Dignity Boutique. Other local organizations can refer women to the shop at No Woman, No Girl's new headquarters on Capitol Boulevard. The boutique offers free hygiene products for women experiencing a crisis. The No Woman, No Girl Dignity Boutique is open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. A new Wallet Hub report put two Triangle cities among the best in the country. Durham and Raleigh were among those listed for best run cities. Durham was the highest rated in the state at number 17. Raleigh not far behind at 21. Cities were judged based on things like financial stability, safety, and, of course, infrastructure. Well, turning to our forecast here this evening, Grant, certainly it may be a tricky day to enjoy some of that infrastructure, like a greenway, for instance. We've had a lot of spotty showers out there.
Yeah, very active this afternoon and through this evening. Scattered showers and some storms, some severe storms. We don't have any active warnings right now across our area. There's one back to our west, but I want to zoom in on the strongest storm right now. It's making its way into Wake County right now, so I want to zoom in on this. It's over northern Wake County, just west of Wake Forest. So Wake Forest, you're about to see this heavy rain. Not seeing as much lightning back to the north and west, but we do have a stronger storm moving through Wendell right now, closer to Zebulon. But the strongest storm is right over Lewisburg right now, working south and east closer to Nashville. Let's get a storm track on this to look at the timing of when the strongest parts of this storm will move into your area. Rollsville 6:25, Millbrook at 6:36, Nashville 6:43 p.m. Rocky Mountain won't be till closer to 7 that you see the strongest part of this storm. Right now it's been moving southeast at around 30 to 35 miles per hour. It could pick up speed though, so generally between 6:45 and 7 o'clock, folks like Knightdale, Rocky Mount, you can expect this storm to roll through. This is the view from Knightdale looking north and west at this storm. John sent this in not too long ago to report it on WRAL.com. He mentioned that this part of the storm is rotating a little bit. It's not surprising. With some of these storms, you get some broad rotation, especially when they're stronger. Was watching this area really close to Knightdale. I've circled this here. You can see some of those reds and greens coming together, but it's very, very broad. So this is pretty common with those stronger storms. You get very broad rotation and some strong wind gusts. Another compelling shot here is from RDU. I mean, look at the heavy rain coming in. It'll be there very shortly over in Morrisville. And then again, working closer to Wake Forest right now. Eventually, this will be over North Raleigh and areas like Zebulon, Wendell, those spots. Okay, weather alert day continues the rest of this evening. Level 1 of 5 risk of severe weather. That's for damaging wind gusts, but they'll be pretty isolated. Level 2 of 5 risk of flooding, or level 2 of 4 risk, I should say, of flooding. What that means is you could see some isolated flash flooding with some of those heavy downpours. We've had some heavy rain over the past several hours, so just keep that in mind. This run of Futurecast is behind. You can see it has the storms further to the north and west. I would say this should be a little bit to the south and east. So again, by 9:30, this should be mostly out of the area. I know it shows it a little bit closer to Rocky Mount at this point, but because it's a little bit behind, this will likely be further south and east. So closer to 9:30, 10 o'clock. The rain should really start to work its way out of the area. Still some scatter clouds lingering overnight, but will overall be drier as we head into the end of the night and into early Monday. Rain chances drop off, but the big story into this week is going to be the intense heat. Triple-digit highs Wednesday all the way through Sunday, possibly even some intense heat to start next week. It's because of this upper-level high. We'll have triple-digit highs starting Wednesday all the way through Sunday. So get ready for this holiday weekend for some intense heat temperatures in the triple digits Wednesday all the way through Friday at 104. 4th of July at 103. Again, these have been trending even hotter. So watch for some possible WRAL weather alert days for some very, very hot temperatures. Again, seasonably hot tomorrow, but it's going to be very, very hot after these storms by the end of this week.
Hey, Grant, I'm glad to see that kind of trend down there at the end, but
yeah,
I needed to keep going.
Hot.
That is way too hot, Grant. Thank you very much. All right, from some heat and from some severe storms to some hurricanes, Luke.
Yeah, Eric, I mean, in the span of less than 2 weeks, the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup, held a massive parade in downtown Raleigh, and prepared for the NHL draft, Up next, why the organization wouldn't have it any other way, and what they did on draft weekend that will set them up for even more success in the future. Hey everyone, I'm Luke Notestein. ESPN reporting that the Charlotte Hornets are trading Miles Bridges plus a couple of draft picks to the Phoenix Suns for former Duke star Grayson Allen and another player, Royce O'Neal. This is the second big move for the Hornets as they recently traded star guard LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves. Bridges was an important player for the Hornets last season, leading them to the play-in game for the first time since 2022. He averaged better than 17 points per game, but the Hornets felt it was just time to move on. Former Duke Blue Devil Grayson Allen averaged 16.5 points for the Phoenix Suns last season. By trading Bridges for Allen, the Hornets saved $20 million in luxury tax and opened up a spot on the roster entering free agency. Well, the free agent market in the National Hockey League opens up on Wednesday, and the Carolina Hurricanes will be ready. The Stanley Cup champs were very busy this weekend, making 6 selections in the draft and acquiring the rights to veteran defenseman John Carlson. General Manager Eric Tulsky is famous for never settling on the status quo and for continuing to improve the team each and every day. The majority of the Canes roster is currently under contract, but this organization will do everything it can to try to defend the Stanley Cup next season. Associate GM Darren York spoke about the strategy and the calculus involved in having a successful draft to build for the future.
Taking a look at where